Madison Comedy Week returns tomorrow to several clubs and venues throughout Madison. It's taking place through August 13th. The 8-day festival features over 25 stand-up, improv, music, and themed variety shows. Joining us to preview it is Jake Snell and Natasha Pearl Hansen. They're both producers and also comedians for Madison Comedy Week. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Kyle.
I want to start by ask Jake, what is Madison Comedy Week?
Madison Comedy Week is a week of comedy in the city of Madison, and we work with over 10 different venues. We pool together the local scene, the regional scene, and the national scene, and pick some of the best comics of all different skill and experience levels and levels of notoriety. And we have over 100 of them join us here in Madison and do over 30 shows.
And so who's the festival for? Is it for young people? Is it for old people? Everyone in between?
It's for everyone who enjoys laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, all of it.
And it kind of just started because the local scene was bubbling up enough to the point where we could actually, have some legitimate infrastructure around comedy and start a scene-based comedy festival that kind of incorporates all those different components.
Now, like I said, there's about over 25 different acts that are coming through this week here in Madison. If there's one to check out, what would it be? Would it be one of your two?
Like you said, there's something for everybody. I think a lot of people are raving about Bob the Drag Queen because he's coming from Madonna's tour, and it's pretty epic to get Madonna's permission to take a break. We also have Thelonious Monk. He's a great friend and amazing comedian, but everybody's fantastic.
And so what should people expect to see or hear when they go out to these different venues coming up?
Jokes, mostly.
Yes.
Yeah, all different kinds of stuff. I mean, we kind of stack it too so that each show has enough variety. So if you go to a show, we like your chances of you really liking some of the performers. So even if not every single comedian is for every single audience member, but every single show will have somebody that you resonate with.
Something for everybody, yeah.
And then the next thing that I got up here, Madison Comedy Week, it's been around since 2018. You were a founding member, actually, Jake, right?
Correct.
And so just kind of tell me, here's some video from previous year. Yeah. It really does look like a fun time. So kind of just explain to me,
there you are.
What's the best part of doing these shows? What's the best part for people attending?
I love that it is just brought to you by the people that make up the comedy infrastructure in Madison. So you got Comedy on State, you got the Burr Oak, you got the production companies that that produce shows year-round around the city of Madison, all the independent shows. And so the best part to me is that it kind of also feels a little bit like summer camp, like people who have moved away from Madison and gone on to do comedy in other cities come back. It's kind of like this faux family reunion, and just a great way to get everybody together and celebrate what we all do.
And I've got to admit, up until a couple of weeks ago, I never had been to a comedy club.
Really?
But I went to Comedy on State, and I went to the improv night on Wednesday. I thought that was something super spectacular because you really do get a variety of different comedians coming through. Yeah. Some that are struggling, some that are good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rapid fire.
That's where I did my first set, and that was kind of the advice that I was given by the people that kind of encouraged me to do it, was like, well, they're supporting the people that are struggling. So you're not going to feel bad about yourself if you do poorly. And luckily, I felt good enough about it to
Madison's
continue.
a supportive town. I feel like, in general, people want to go there to have a good time. So even, like you said, if you're up and coming and still trying to get your sea legs on stage, you're not going to have the most horrible time.
Sure. One more thing I want to check out is that we have this graphic that shows all the dates. Look at those. There's so much happening this week. Kicks off tomorrow at the Burr Oak at 7 p.m. Once again, thank you both so much for being here. We got to wrap it up at this time.
Thank you so much for having us.
If people want to check out where to buy tickets, where should they do that at?
MadisonComedyWeek.net, which is there on the graphic. And yeah, that'll have links to all of our different shows, and the full calendar's up there. And check us out on Instagram, Facebook, wherever.
Jake and Natasha, thank you so much for being here this morning.